Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show, Red Pill Edition. My name is Leon Jones, and this evening I'm going to talk about capitalizing on your opportunities and having standards as a man. So, the topic of this video is going to be men capitalize on your opportunities and have standards. Now, when I talk about capitalizing on your opportunities, what I am simply saying is you need to find a niche. Now, here at the 401 Talk Zone radio show, when I do red pill content, I'm not just talking about women. As a red pill man, an opportunity that I am seizing is to get the truth out to other men who have been raised in this blue pill matrix to think blue pill. And when I talk about women, I talk about women's behavior. I don't hate women. I'm not against building families. I'm not against marriage. I'm just against the system. Now, going back to talking about opportunities and a niche. Now, there's some brothers, particularly on the black sector of YouTube, who don't like the dating coaches. Now, me, I don't have any problem with the dating coaches. Now, why is that? Because the dating coaches have taken an opportunity. They're getting men who are unsure about themselves. They're unsure about how to socialize with women. And they have capitalized financially on teaching men how to interact with women. Now, when it comes to any type of service, because I'm a civil engineer, I offer a service. And within each service that's being offered, like going back to the dating coaches, there's going to be competition. And everything we do is going to be competition. So as a man, what you have to do is, if you're going to go to any service, you get a background check or a credibility check on the person that's going to be providing you with service. Now, there's some individuals here on YouTube that say the dating coaches are teaching men how to be whoremongers. That's true. However, if you are a man and you go to that dating coach, you're responsible for your decisions that you make. And when I provide a service for anybody, particularly as a civil engineer, if I'm going to do a certain job, I am going to provide them with what we call a statement of capability. I'm going to show them my academic credentials. Now, shout out to brother Alan Roger Curry, because he talks about credentials as a dating coach, and Ron Wills. If you are looking for two guys who are heavily stacked in the dating coach industry, it's those two guys. They provide credentials. They've had 10 to 20,000 hours of utilizing information to give to their clients for financial security. Now, do you have some other ones out here who are qualified? I'm sure you do. Although I haven't seen them, but I'm just using those two names out there. Why? Because those individuals have provided their credentials. And as a man, a red pill man, there is more to being red pilled than just talking about women. You need to understand business. You need to understand health. In fact, I did a blog talk radio show a couple of hours ago, and I talked about how not to feel tired and lethargic. You need to listen to that blog talk radio podcast, because there are a lot of men out here who have low T. Now, let me stop right there for a second. I'm talking about medical. So when I have a medical issue, what do? I go to a doctor. Now, there's some good doctors and there's some bad doctors. But that doctor became a doctor because he was interested in helping people, correct? That doctor seized an opportunity to make a financial gain. Now, where I'm going with what I'm saying here is it's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with living comfortably. We live in a quasi-capitalist society here in America. And when it comes to making money, the opportunity is there. I mean, you hear a lot of YouTubers talking about Jay-Z. He came from drug dealer to billionaire. Now, everybody knows his background. But it's not where you come from, it's where you're at. And as a red pill man, what I'm suggesting to men is, if you have a talent, maximize it. If you want to be a psychologist. And in the internet, yes, you're going to make money off of people's victimization. But you're there to solve their problems. And this is what the dating coaches do. Okay, you don't have to like them. I don't knock what they do, because I don't need a dating coach. But I'm just telling men that those guys found a niche and they're utilizing it now. Whether it's working for the men who go to the dating coaches, that's their decision to go to a dating coach. Just like I'll provide a civil engineering service. I'm going to give you my service. I'm going to give you my qualifications. If you don't like what I do, go somewhere else. We all have the option. And as a man, what we need to do, I'm going to go off topic a little bit, we need to get out of each other's pockets. Stop being jealous. When we talk about building, particularly black men, well, we can't build because we're always jealous of one another. Crabs in a barrel mindset. And you've heard this over and over again, but you're going to hear it again. And many black men don't want to lead. Now, we sit up here and complain about the women all day, but we have a lot of problems ourselves. We have anger issues. We have narcissism issues. We have OCD issues. We have health issues. And first and foremost, as men, when we deal with women, we need to have standards about women. And we need to go beyond sex. And particularly black men. Most black men, their whole mindset when it comes to women revolves around sex. So we inherently give women the power to reject us. You look at feminism for the last 50 years. Men controlled everything. Men had the power to stop it, but men didn't. And they didn't for the reasons of sex. See, if you look at a woman for more than just her sexual value, you will find out who she really is based on not what she says, but by her actions. Now, all women aren't bad, even here in a Western society. But a number of men don't have standards. And when you let sex control your mind, you're always going to pick up a woman that is low-hanging fruit. You give women a validation that normally don't get validated. And this is why a number of women can hide out on dating sites, Facebook, Instagram, because it's we as men who are giving them the power. But once we give them the power, then we go and bitch about the situation, about how bad women are. You see, you can't call a woman a whore for sleeping around when you want to go sleep around yourself. You're whoremongering, as per Ringo TV Raw. Shout out to him, because he brings that out. But as a man, red pill man, you have to understand truth. Yeah, you have to understand that you have an opportunity to be somebody, but you have to take it. You have to have the energy to take it. And in order to maximize on your opportunities, you have to, number one, you have to exercise. There are a number of men out here who don't exercise. I see it every day. I mean, I have my t-shirt on because I had just finished walking 5 miles. Luckily, I'm not sweating. I got my air conditioner on in my car because it just came from the park. You have to eat right. You have to have a low stress level. But as a red pill man, you have to pick an area of interest that's going to make you happy, and you capitalize on it. Don't shun people for wanting to be life coaches and dating coaches. Yes, if they're doing some shady shit out here, they'll be found out because their reputation will be blown. What you have to do as a man is not worry about what the next man is doing, worry about what you're doing. You as a man, you're your own leader. Like I said, you have to be your own doctor. You have to be your own life coach. You have to be your own dating coach. But if you choose to use other services, there's always a risk involved. But you know, services aren't free. But as a man, there's nothing wrong with getting help. The problem is, we men are afraid to ask for help because of pride. And I believe the intentions of the dating coach or the dating coaches are to help men. Now, some of them do a good job and some of them don't, just like doctors, just like engineers. You're talking about a real shady profession, look at the lawyers. Now, not everybody is bad, but the lawyers found an opportunity to capitalize on something. That's why you have a lot of rich lawyers. I do not fault them for wanting to be wealthy and comfortable. Now, how they got there is a whole different animal. But as a red pill man, and I'm giving you my point of view, I enjoy doing red pill content. But there's more to red pill than just women. Certainly we understand women are part of the problem, but men are also part of the problem. But being a red pill man, we need to get our minds in everything when it comes to truth. We need to understand that religion is flawed, media is flawed, government is flawed, private sector jobs are flawed, and education is flawed. Now, when it comes to politics, I don't talk about my politics too much, but I'm basically center and I lean a little right because I'm a fiscal conservative. Now, when it comes to social issues, I don't care what people do. But as a man, what you have to do as a man is create opportunities for yourself. We can't feel like victims. As a man, we know that the laws are here to suppress men, but we can overcome that. We just have to be a little smarter. See, the laws are blue pill. They're illusional. The laws aren't necessarily to get the real truth out there. They're to keep you on a plantation. But regardless of what you are doing as a man, you should have standards. You should have standards in everything you do. You should want to be the best. You should not settle to be mediocre. That's when choosing women. That's when choosing a job. That's when choosing a college. You don't even have to go to college. And like I said, it's nothing wrong with building families. It's nothing wrong with marriage. I'm not against any of that. I don't even hate women. Like I said, I call out women for their behavior. But when it comes to women, they've had bad men in their lives as well. Now, I'm not making excuses for them, but the bad men in their lives have caused them to dislike men. And men have also had bad women in their lives, and they've caused themselves to be bitter at women. Now, when you're red pill, you understand truth. But truth, again, goes much further than women. Now, when I talk about women, the women I always talk about are the older women. Because it's the older women who have engaged in this feminist Marxism, and they have passed that information down to the younger women. That's why you have some men who don't want to date older women. Because a lot of these older women are used up. And I'm not talking about sexually. I'm talking about behavioral wise. Because they've been taken through the ringer. Doesn't make them bad women? No. You have a number of men who have been used themselves. And it's very difficult to deal with people who are bitter. So as a standard, when you go out dating, whether you're a man or a woman, you got to vet the people you date. You got to see what lifestyle they're living. Because at the end of the day, for the most part, if you get involved with people who are dysfunctional, it's going to rub off on you. Remember something, misery loves company. But going back to capitalization, if you have a talent and you want to do something honest, it's nothing wrong with it. Make sure you get the credentials. Make sure you have a contract written up. Make sure if you're going to provide a service that you have insurance. A lot of people don't understand this when it comes to business. You need a certain type of insurance. Like me, I have a small engineering firm. So I have what we call PLI, professional liability insurance. And there's also general liability insurance. Business is very fundamental. Like I said, you guys out here, you're dating coaches, and you're successful, more power to you. Just remember, individuals have a choice. If you go to a dating coach, if you go to an engineer, if you go to the doctor, and the environment doesn't seem right, never go back. You must remember that a lot of us are in business to make money. That's what capitalization is all about. Now, you have a number of people who are shysty. It's always been like that, and it will always be like that. But at the end of the day, if you stay in your lane, you can make money as well. And when I say have standards as well, don't be jealous of the next person. Because jealousy and envy is always going to set you back. It's going to set you back because you're not focused on what you're doing. You're focused on somebody else. You're afraid that they have more than you. Well, in real life, this is red pill truth here. You got people who have more than you, and you have people less than you. We are not equal. We're all created by God. But many of us have gone different routes because of the decisions that we made. And we have to be responsible for our decisions. So at the end of the day, what you do, you got to be accountable for it. And here on YouTube, certainly with all the YouTube policies, if you want to stay on YouTube, you got to follow the policies. Or go to another platform like a DTube or Vimeo or BitChute or Twitch. But everything you do is going to have a policy. It's going to have a standard. Now, why are there standards? Because you need boundaries. People run amok if you don't have standards. Standards keep everything in check, supposedly. It's like the government. The government is supposed to be about checks and balances. Well, you have a lot of corruption with the government. But as men, there are far more reaching goals to being red pill than just talking about women. Because all women did make the decision for you to knock some woman up. As a man, when you should have been responsible for who you laid with and where you stuck your penis. Just like a woman. Every man didn't tell you to go sleep. Every woman didn't tell you to go sleep with that man that you slept with. And see, first and foremost, when it comes to standards, we have to understand accountability and responsibility. And many of us have to grow up because many of us are not grown up. Many of us are still children. Even in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. I don't know how many people I've run into who still act like they're living at home with their mothers. They love to use words like, oh, I keeps it real, I keeps it 100. That's juvenile language. You need to be past that. You need to act your age. And that's a standard. And when you deal with people, you have some standards. Like, I don't want to deal with people who have different color hair, feminist, big mouths, disrespectful people. And when it comes to my work ethic, I want to make sure when I'm providing a service, which my niche is being a civil engineer, I want to give them good service so they come back. I want my reputation to be a good reputation. And again, when it comes to individuals who have credibility, check their academic credentials, check their licenses, check who they are as a person. This is what I do for everybody. Even if you're going to be my friend, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. And I'm going to look at your actions. And guys, when it comes to women, you don't need a dating coach for this. You just need common sense for this. You need to look at a woman's actions. Too many of us look at how she looks on the outside. No, you got to go far beyond the outside and get into the inside. You need to check her psyche out. This is where your standards come in. You don't have to deal with a woman who's got a bunch of kids. You don't have to deal with a woman who's overweight. You don't have to deal with a woman who has a lot of health problems. You don't have to allow yourself to be shamed. Because if women can have their standards, men, you should be able to have your standards. You should be able to ask a woman how many guys she's been around. I'll tell you what, when it comes to this online dating, a number of women lie about their weight. They lie about their ages. In fact, on Plenty of Fish, they have a section called body type. Some of the women prefer not to say. There are even 50-year-old women when it comes to having children, and they've already had children. They're 50 years old. You want children? Prefer not to say. You have a number of people, you have a number of men who are also dishonest. But you got to have standards, and standards must be realistic. If you can't look at your own standards and find out if they're realistic, go back and reevaluate yourself. Because there's some men out here who are thinking like women. They have attitudes and they have emotional problems just like women. And there are a number of men who don't want to hear the truth either. They want you to go out and talk about the women, but there are a number of men who got to hear the truth as well. Now, I'm here preaching love to my brothers out here because men, we're in a struggle every day. But as a man, you got a talent. Capitalize on your talent. Don't hurt anybody to get to where you want to go. Don't rip anybody up, because the same way that person is going up the ladder, they may see you coming down the ladder because of your shady practices. See, karma is a bitch. Comes around, does go around. You believe it. But being red pill means looking at the truth from all facets. Does not just mean women. And I wanted to get that out today because there are a number of people who love drama. I don't like drama. I'm 54 years old. I like peace. I like teaching. Now, I don't have the credentials to be a dating coach. That's why you never hear me talk about dating coach practices. But when it comes to engineering, I do have the credentials to talk about that. I have a degree from Temple University. I have a master's degree from New Jersey Institute of Technology. I have my own little civil engineer practice on the side called Quality Control Inspection Services. I work for the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, and I have professors, I have family members, everybody will vouch for me for my work. I make sure I go to work every day and go on time, but I provide a good service for my customers. And I'm not here to be shady. And again, when you are a businessman, you're going to have customers that aren't going to be satisfied. You have to understand that as well. You can't get your feelings hurt because you lose a customer. You can always gain a customer. It's just like YouTube. You have people who are utilizing YouTube to make money. Now, I'm not utilizing YouTube to make money. I'm utilizing YouTube because I have a niche to teach. Because I believe that men and women need some teaching. Because you're not always going to get the teaching from your family because you have a dysfunctional family. They didn't get teaching. But at the end of the day, what I want from you men out here is to have more standards. Certainly there are going to be women that are going to piss you off. There are going to be other men that are going to piss you off. But as men, you're builders, you're leaders. You got to want to lead. If you put your woman in charge and then you bitch about her telling you what to do, that's your fault. You need to take initiative as a man and be a man. You look at Brian McKnight's kids, and it was a football player who they found out that the son killed him and his wife. Probably because they spoiled their kids. Brian McKnight paid for their kids' apartment. Now they're ungrateful. These individuals are 27 and 30. You cannot spoil a kid. You cannot let your kids run over you. You have standards. You have discipline. And once you put your foot down, if people don't abide by your program, you don't deal with them. That's red pill truth right there. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with being a man. Don't listen to what society tells you about a man. You do what you need to do honestly to be a man. But first and foremost, accept truth, accept your responsibilities, accept your faults. Number 2, always understand that we as men do take risks. Understand with every risk, there's a reward. Understand that with every success, there's a failure. And if you understand those concepts and you don't live in an illusional blue pill world, you continue to live in a red pill world, the road will be much easier for you to travel. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Song Radio Show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. You can also catch my Blog Talk Radio Show. I do one every weekend. I talked about being tired and fatigued. It's already posted on my Facebook page. Check that Blog Talk Radio Show out. Also, check out my new channel. If you're interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, you'll love this channel. I talk about STEM, the Mind of STEM channel. And I'm going to talk about statements of qualifications or statements of capabilities. Because if you are going to call on somebody to do a job for you, you need to find out what their qualifications are. We call them RFQs, requests for qualifications, or requests for quotes. Because you want to make sure that the person that you are hiring to do a job for you isn't shady. And at the end of the day, as a man, understand capitalism, not socialism. Socialism is for lazy people. Capitalism is for you to capitalize off of your talents. And don't let anybody tell you that making money is wrong. In the United States, we are about making money. All these people who are politically correct, they're parasitic. They want to make money off of you by establishing laws which redistribute your wealth to individuals who don't want to do any work. They have a welfare state mindset. But at the end of the day, stick to who you are as a man. Remember, capitalize on your opportunities and have standards. Now again, that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. God bless you. I'm out.